إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونؤمن به ونتوكل عليه ونعوذ بالله تعالى من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا إنه من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدًا عبده ورسوله وصفيه من خلقه وحبيبه بلغ الرسالة وأدى الأمانة ونصح الأمة فكشف الله به الغمة وجاهد في الله حق جهاده حتى أتاه اليقين فصل اللهم على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا يصلح لكم أعمالكم ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم ومن يطع الله ورسوله فقد فاز فوزا عظيما أما بعد فإن خير الحديث كتاب الله وخير الهدي هدي محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم وإن شر الأمور محدثاتها وإن كل محدثة بدعة وكل بدعة ضلالة وكل ضلالة في النار وبعد. Respected elders, my dear brothers and sisters, Rasul sallallahu alayhi wasallam says in a hadith narrated by Sa'ad ibn Abi Waqqas, he says that I have heard the Rasul sallallahu alayhi wasallam say, Inna Allah yuhibbul abda taqi al-ghani al-khafi. Indeed, Allah loves the servant who is taqi, who is God conscious. Al-ghani, rich. Al-khafi, hidden. What does taqi mean? Having taqwa, having God consciousness. Ali radiallahu anhu says, At-taqwa ha-huna, khawful jalil, wal-amalu bit-tanzil. Taqwa is the fear of the majestic Allah. Wal-amalu bit-tanzil, to act upon the revelation. Wal-qana'atu bil-qalil, to be satisfied with little. Wal-isti'adadu li-yawm al-rahil, and preparation for the day of departure. Allah loves the servant who is taqi, who is God conscious, who takes what is halal, who is conscious of taking what is halal and conscious of leaving what is haram. Al-ghani, ghani literally means rich. So does Allah love the millionaires only? Most of the scholars, or many scholars, have said that ghina here could mean those whom Allah has given a lot of wealth and they are able to do a lot of shukr. And it could also mean those whom Allah have given a little and they are satisfied with that. They are content with that. They are not complaining. Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam says in another hadith, ليس الغنى عن كثرة العرض ولكن الغنى غنى النفس. Wealth is not having many possessions, but rather true wealth is feeling the sufficiency in the soul. So according to the hadith of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, you could be wealthy if you are a millionaire, and you could also be wealthy if you are not. As long as you are content with what Allah has given you, you are wealthy. There are many people who look wealthy from outside, but they're enslaved to the money, to the status, to the approval of the people. They're enslaved. That's not called ghina. That's not called richness. That is actually being enslaved to money. But richness is richness of the heart. At-taqi, al-ghani, al-khafi. Allah loves the one who has taqwa, who has richness in the heart, and the khafi, the hidden one. What does this mean? The hidden one. These people whom Allah love, they want to stay hidden. They don't want to be the center of attention all the time. They don't want fingers to be pointed at them. They are not after views and likes. They want to stay hidden. They want their good deeds to stay hidden. They want their good things to stay hidden. They don't want praise and approval from the people. They are in fact afraid of it. They would hide their good deeds. They would hide their good actions. They would do a lot of secret good deeds to keep their niyyah, to keep their intention sincere for the sake of Allah. Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam says in another hadith, Rubba ash'atha, before that, sometimes you might be tested by Allah in a position where you have to reveal yourself. The key here would be to not be deceived by what people think of you, but use your status, use your authority to do al-amr bil ma'ruf wa nahy anil munkar, to forbid from the evil and to enjoin the good. And keep in mind that it doesn't matter to Allah at all how people praise you, how many likes you have. What will matter to Allah is what you have between you and Allah of the intention. يَوْمَ تُبْلَ السَّرَائِرِ. On the day of judgment, the sara'ir will be tested. The secret will be tested. What are the secrets? The intentions. On the day of judgment, the intentions will be tested. If you didn't have the right intentions, if your intention was right in the beginning but it got polluted somewhere in the middle, all your deeds will be multiplied by 0. So Allah loves the servant who is God conscious, who is self-sufficient. Self-sufficient also means that he is content with what he has and he is not dependent on others. He is not always begging from others. He is independent of others. Allah loves this trait. Allah wants us to be independent of others and to be only dependent on Him. We ask only Him. We rely on only Him, not others. Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam says regarding being hidden, رُبَّ أَشْعَثَ مَدْفُوعٍ بِالْأَبْوَابِ لَوْ أَقْسَمَ عَلَى اللَّهِ لَأَبَرَّهُ. There are many people with disheveled hair and dust, covered with dust. They are turned away from doors, whereas they are held in such high esteem by Allah that if this person was to swear by Allah, swear in the name of Allah about anything, Allah would make that happen. If he swore by Allah, Allah would make that happen for him. He has such status with Allah. A tabi'i called Muhammad ibn al-Munkadir, who was a scholar in Medina. This tabi'i, once he was praying in Medina, in the Prophet's mosque. So at night, it was during a time of drought. There was no rain for many days. So people went to do prayer of the rain, the supplication of the rain, but there was still no rain. So on one night, he was at the Prophet's mosque praying, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So he saw one man praying near a pillar, praying to Allah, that, Ya Allah, everyone has prayed to you for rain. Rain didn't come. Oh Allah, Allahumma inni uqsimu alayka an tughithana. Oh Allah, I swear by you that you pour rain on us. When he said that dua, the sky thundered. The clouds roared and the rain started coming. And when this person saw that, he started crying. He started crying, saying, Man ana? Man yakunu ana? Who am I, O Allah, that you answered my prayer? I am nobody. He kept crying the whole night until he prayed Fajr. Everyone prayed Fajr. And he went back home. And Muhammad ibn al-Munkadir, who was there in the mosque, he followed this man. He was a scholar of Medina, but he didn't know who this man was, which means this man was an ordinary guy. He was an ordinary man. He was not famous. He knew all the scholars of Medina, but he was someone he did not know. So he followed him to his house to find out more about him, that how did Allah answer this man's prayer? What secret does he do? So he followed him, he went to his house, and he marked his house, did not meet him. The next day, after Fajr, after Shuruq, he went to this man's house. He went to this man's house, knocked the door, and everyone knows Muhammad ibn al-Munkadir. He's a scholar. So this man comes out of the house and says, "Oh, Muhammad ibn al-Munkadir, what can I do for you? Sheikh, what can I do for you?" This man was a cobbler. This ordinary man, he was actually a cobbler. He used to repair shoes. So he says that, "Can I do something for you?" So he says that, "I heard you making that dua. I heard you making that dua and the rain started after your dua. Please tell me how your dua gets answered. I want to know about it." This man started shaking. This cobbler, he started shaking. He says, "Ittaqillah. Ittaqillah. Fear Allah. Fear Allah and do not speak about this to anyone." And after that, this man took his stuff and he traveled away from Medina. He was not staying in Medina anymore. They disliked, they hated to be known for their piety. So much that when people found out about it, they would hate to be amongst them. Rasulullah says in another hadith, or it's a saying of Mu'adh ibn Jabal. Mu'adh ibn Jabal was once crying at the Prophet ﷺ's grave. Umar ibn al-Khattab met him and he says, "Why are you crying?" Mu'adh ibn Jabal says, "I am crying because of something I heard from the Prophet ﷺ. Prophet ﷺ said, Inna yasir al-riya'i shirkun. A little showing off is shirk. Just a little showing off. You're doing most of these deeds for the sake of Allah, but just little to seek praise from someone. Even that is shirk. Whoever shows enmity towards a friend of Allah, whoever shows enmity towards a friend of Allah has declared war on Allah." And who are these friends of Allah? Who are these friends of Allah? These friends of Allah, do we know them? From the previous hadith, we learned that the friends of Allah could be an ordinary man, his hair disheveled with dust. You won't recognize him. He doesn't have a turban. He doesn't look polished, but he could be a wali of Allah. So he's weeping. That, I've heard the Prophet ﷺ say, if you harm a wali of Allah, it is as if you have waged a war on Allah. This means that we have to be careful about dealing with everyone. You don't know who is a wali of Allah, who has secret deeds that we don't know of, who has special status with Allah. Then he says, I have heard the Rasul say, Allah loves, Inna Allah yuhibbul abrar al-atqiya al-akhfiya. Indeed, Allah loves those who have righteousness and piety, and their righteousness and piety are hidden. الَّذِينَ إِذَا غَابُوا لَمْ يُفْتَقَدُوا. When they are absent, when these people are absent, they are not missed. Listen carefully. Allah loves these people who are pious and their piety is hidden. And when they are absent from a gathering, they are not missed in that gathering. وَإِنْ حَضَرُوا لَمْ يُدْعَوْا وَلَمْ يُعْرَفُوا. And when they are present, they are not invited or acknowledged. The awliya of Allah, they are hidden. They can be someone as ordinary as one being not invited to anyone, to any big gathering, any important gathering. But they could be the awliya of Allah. We live in a day and age where social media, it harnesses our desire for fame, status, likes. But Rasulullah is teaching us that true recognition comes from Allah. You could be not recognized by anyone on earth, but be very famous and known in the sky. Let us put our efforts in being known in the sky. أقول قولي هذا واستغفر الله لي ولكم ولسائر المسلمين فاستغفروه وتوبوا إليه إنه هو الغفور الرحيم.